Mike was the first one here, and that is normal. And you're right. That's a good point. They should be yelling at me. All right, hang on. People can hear me. They can't hear any of you. I'm gonna mute myself for a second. Okay, they can hear me now, and I'm gonna tell them that we're pretty much ready to go. We're gonna get started here real soon. We had a meeting at work, so we're coming. We had a meeting. All right. There's that. They can hear you guys now, I think. Oh boy. You know what?
What? Getting good stretching? Is that a thing we do every time now?
Well, it's what I need right now. That's probably something I should do every time. Yeah.
Scotch. What's I need? It does not feel like Friday.
No.
Yeah.
No. As soon as we're done here and I get this posted, I gotta go get everything in the van, and we're driving out tonight. So
Ooh.
busy.
Hell yeah. It's vacay time, baby.
Okay. Where'd I put the rundown? What did I do with that?
What did we do with that here? There we go.
There it is. Okay.
The Canoodle rundown. You should call it a Canoodle rundown.
Yeah, the Canoodle rundown. Yeah, you give us
call it the Canoodle rundown. You'll like it.
Yeah. God. All right, Mike. Turn on your camera when you get a chance.
Oh shit.
Just want to look at you, man.
I bought so much Coke Zero yesterday.
Good for you.
Getting ready for the apocalypse.
It's changing, right?
I can't drink beer yet.
Have you tried the new one yet?
It's changing.
Right. Have you tried the new one?
They asked me for my address. I didn't get anything, and I haven't seen it in stores yet, so I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Maybe they're thinking better of. Oh, you got to move my mic. Sorry. I hope you weren't adjusting the audio based off of that.
Not yet, but I am now. So thank you. Let me turn this stuff down. I think. Okay, there we go. Mike, talk.
Wait, they changing that?
Wait, yeah, they're changing
Coke Zero?
No, I was gonna say they're changing new Coke. Yeah, Coke Zero.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They changed the regular Coke here. They put less sugar in it now.
Yeah, that's just
That's
that-
fine.
What's that called? That's called like shrinkflation or whatever, where they like shrink the size of the packaging and put less stuff in it to try to like make more money on each
really?
thing.
Has that-
It's like
Instead
the
of racing-
government was like, you put too much shit on that shit, so
Oh, okay. Well, then there's that
I
too.
think it was that, or it's either that or they're running out of sugar.
Yeah, I think that's more likely. And it just sugar's really expensive. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Copy link. All right, let me say that we're getting started on Twitter.
It's almost like cocaine, so it has to.
I am not doing Coke Space Dovahkiin. I'm drinking Coke Zero Coke. Coke Zero Coke. Oh, that Coke flavor. No, the voices in your head. Actually, I don't even know what Coke does to people. Is that like a?
It's not voices
Is
in
that
your head.
psychedelic, or is that like one of those I'm going to fall asleep and maybe die drugs?
No, it's
No,
neither
no.
of those. Those are not the
No.
two flavor drugs. That's the one where like you. It's the one that releases like all of the good feeling things in your body. So if you have like
Yeah,
dopamine, yeah, you feel like you did something really good, even if you're really just a douchebag. So.
It's like, yeah, exactly.
I see.
Okay, I think I might be a bit hot.
Sounds a
No,
lot like
yes.
sinning to me. But
I
all
mean,
right.
100%. Yes. All right. I think we are
Do
pretty
you see
good.
Mike's camera? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna bring it up here in a second. Actually, you're in your Christian, so it's gonna be Miss Sinner. So why would I even do
yeah,
that?
yeah. I was about to say, have a good podcast. See you
Thanks, man.
later.
Have a good one. Talk to you later.
Bye. I
All
did.
right.
I'll tell you what. I definitely took Dare very seriously. I think everyone else was rolling their eyes at Dare, and I was like, "Yes, I do not want to be a criminal. My life is too important to mess up." I didn't start drinking till I was 23. I was a goody two shoe. Remember, we see this show later, so I would just drink beer during it, and now it's like, okay, I can't actually drink beer during the show if I'm working after it. I have some standards.
Okay, that looks pretty good. And I have everything else where I need it, right? Yeah. Okay.
Coke makes me feel like I'm gonna die from the lack of flavor compared to Pepsi from Jeremy. Where's that ban button? I don't put user in timeout. There we go. You're in timeout, Jeremy.
Wow,
I
you
forget
did it.
how long that lasts. But that's, look, some takes are just that bad. Oh, I don't
Abuse
want it
of
to-
power.
I hate
Abuse
that
of
it-
power.
I hate that it deletes their messages. I don't want. I want people to see.
Yeah, you want to make an example of them. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Like, people have to know what he did. Didn't I do this one time for it? It was a disaster.
Yeah, I feel like yes. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should have done that. But look, I hate Pepsi, so I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
Jeremy,
Jeremy's
while
he's probably gonna give us like thousands of dollars in super chats that he can't now because I
you
did
know
that.
you messed up, man. Hey, Jeremy, Wild Cherry Pepsi is still pretty good. I still like that. I don't know if they make it anymore, but I don't really drink pop anymore.
Mods, figure that out. Get Jeremy back in here. I think he learned his lesson. I'm sorry.
Mike is a cruel and unfair mod here.
Well, that is absolutely true.
All
That
right.
is absolutely true.
All right, so we got hey.
This is no
pretty
fun.
good.
I can't hear Jeremy yelling back at me. Why can't
Yeah.
I untime them out? I can just time them out again. It's just
I-
put user timeout.
You
What if I
could
push that
definitely do
button
this.
again?
You could definitely do this. What did you press it again? Oh God.
Let's see. No, I think I just put him in timeout more.
It's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. All right, so just let
that
it go.
Well, it
Yeah,
might be 10 minutes now.
What? Okay, good point. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, we can right. We had to mod someone to undo it. I think
there you
last
go.
time.
Make him a mod.
How do I forget? Is this the one where I could do the slash mod? This is the one where I had to like go into YouTube settings and like put in their email address. So no. Yeah. Heisenberg, I'm gonna let it down because we turned on the air in here, so I can actually let down the hair today. All right.
Yeah, no one likes a man bun, Jeff.
I do when it's hot and I need to like
Yeah.
not be 1,000 degrees.
I'm tired of your excuses.
All right. All right. Nick Turbo, I saw your question in here for the 60% gang. We'll get to that. Okay.
How long is YouTube time out?
It said
There we
it
go.
said 300 seconds right
30
there.
to 60 minutes.
No, it said 300 seconds.
Oh.
That's 5 minutes.
Oh, you can see?
That's what it says. Jeremy G was timed out by Mike Minotti for 300 seconds.
Oh, I didn't even know those things. Okay. I'm very anxious about my crimes.
Can I time out? Are the slash commands? Is that what works here? I want to mute you or whatever.
Jeff sucks. That didn't work.
No, I see it. There it is. Okay, Mike, I am ready. You ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Okay. Good. We're good there. Oh, you know what? I didn't test this. Let's see here. You can hear that? No, you
I
probably
hear
can.
it.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Look at the super chats already pouring in. People must like my authoritative style.
Yeah, this is the only way to avoid like you lashing out at them is like
Yes,
to butter you up with
pay
money.
me money. Might curry favor with me temporarily.
Yeah, it never lasts, but yeah, temporary. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do the countdown. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna press this button.
So
I gotta
burnt
hit.
people's rounds of the Coke Zero. I guess that happens. That's
Yeah,
probably why like actual professionals don't drink pop while they record things. So.
That could be. There could be something to that, Mike. Yeah, I think so. All right. I'm gonna do the countdown right now. 5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the GamesBeat Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything that happens in the world of video games so you never, ever have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is...
I am not one of Jeff's favorite gaming journalists, Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, we're gonna have to do a lot of healing, a lot of I'm gonna have to apologize, explain myself. I have said very nice things about you on podcasts before. You just weren't listening. Is that my fault?
I feel like I listened to most of them.
I've definitely guessed it on some, and I definitely buttered you up one. And I'm like waiting for him to say something, and he never said anything. So I'm like, okay, that's what I get for that.
Yeah, so yesterday on Grubb Snacks on Giant Bomb, somebody asked you to like name your favorite gaming journalists, and you brought up a few people, not my name, not even mentioned, not even hinted at, didn't even cross your mind.
I mean, honestly, no, because I'm like, it would be weird to be like, I work with you. It's like, well,
I feel like that's an excellent reason to promote my name.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. We are fighting. That's fine.
You know what? I'm not gonna be here next week. Then I'll actually go on real vacation and not come back for the podcast, and you'll have to figure it out yourself.
It'll be a podcast because I don't know how to do this shit. I can't just broadcast to this channel. I don't know what the hell. There's scrolling text down there. What the hell is that? I don't know. That's magic as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, all right. So we're fighting. That's fine. I prefer it this way anyway. We're going to get into everything here real soon. Thanks for joining us. You can get more from Mike and me at GamesBeat.com. If you have something to share with us, email us at gamespluspodcast@venturebeat.com. I think we actually got an email to that account this week, and I need to go check it. I know it normally doesn't happen. But you could also get us on Twitter at GamesBeat. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Ray Music, for the use of our theme songs. If you're listening to this on the website player widget, there's an audio version of this show you can subscribe to on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever your pods are caught. But also, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, give us that thumbs up, hit that like button.
Oh, I should thumbs up.
Yeah, it really helps people find the show. We got 240-ish people watching right now. Hit that like button. It will help us grow. It's noticeable. Join the Discord. The link is in the description for now. I think discord.gg/GameMess still works, but once again, we're about to lose a boost, so I'm going to have to figure that out. And thank you to the mods. I added this last week, I think. Thank you, mods. Christian did a lot of good work making sure that Discord is a lot of fun. They do a lot of good work here. Really, we should probably just strip Mike Minotti. Not strip. We should give Mike Minotti a break and not have him be a mod so that he does not lash out at anybody. I mean, yes, because our mods already do such a good job.
Yeah, before we started, somebody said something positive about Pepsi, and I timed them out on on YouTube, which maybe was a rash decision, but I did it.
And then he tried to undo it, so he just timed him out even longer because he didn't know how to undo it, so he just hit the button again. And then the patreon.com/Jeff Grubb. That gets you to the secret channels inside my Discord. So yeah, come hang out with us. Secret industry secrets.
Secret.
All right, we got a lot of super chats pouring in. We're gonna get to all of those after the news. Mike will read out all those, so keep them coming in. We'll definitely answer your questions and address any of your comments. I will take questions from other Patreon members who are in the Discord here as well. But for now, we have some news that we're gonna get to.
News. Jeremy's back. His timeout's over, and he says he still loves me. Jeremy, I think we can heal now. He does a little spat. It happened. We have to acknowledge it, but we can move on.
I'll drink a Pepsi in his honor.
Well, let's not go that far. Don't hurt yourself. Don't do something you're gonna regret.
You know, legitimately, Pepsi has physically hurt me before. I was traveling right before my daughter was born in 2016. I did a ton of traveling. I went to Amsterdam, and it must be like European Pepsi Max was like more intense or something like that. But I drank like 3 or 4 Pepsi Maxes one night because I was like trying to get some work done, and I'm a trash person, so I drank like 3 or 4 Pepsi Maxes. The next day I had my flight, and I woke up and my throat was like injured, and I'm like, I can't swallow. I'm like, am I gonna die? And I was like almost like freaking out on the plane. I had to like ask the stewardess for like a whole bottle of water because I couldn't swallow. And I got back home and like talked to a doctor, and they're like, yeah, I think you just messed up your esophagus. And like, did you do anything? Did you drink anything acidic?
Wow.
I'm like, Pepsi Max, and they're like, that probably could do it. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I'm getting old.
Wow.
Second of all, fuck Pepsi Max. That's like when I'm like, I just have got to never drink pop again. It's kind of what I decided there.
You know, shouldn't we really be pimping RC Cola Royal Crown with the whole Arby's thing, right? Like that's the only place I ever knew RC Cola from.
Well, we would get RC Cola occasionally because my family
you're
just
trash people.
Yeah, because we hated spending money, I guess. And also we get RC Cola in like when I was living on Ohio State campus, and we were trash people again. So
yeah, Jeff, we have so much news, so much super chats. What the hell are we doing? Let's get to it.
You make a very good point, a very good argument there, Mike. All right, let's just get right into it. Activision Blizzard is still just the worst. There's a lot of stuff happened there this week, but I'm gonna just kind of like read through the big major bullet points.
There's a new Bloomberg story today about stuff. I haven't even read that yet.
I know, I haven't read it either, but apparently Jason Schreier talked to like 50 people about the awful conditions there and the way people felt they were treated, and it just seems like this is a systemic issue. It's hard to argue otherwise, but employees have formed a coalition to continue rejecting specifically that union busting firm that Activision hired. And basically, when I say like union busting firm, this firm is known for trying to stop the unions from happening at Apple. They've done that work, but also they are like have put on a facade of saying, well, hey, if you have issues, contact this third-party firm that will help you handle those issues. And that's what this firm is. And basically, it's another way of protecting Activision Blizzard. That's really what that is. But employees have made their demands previously. Those demands haven't been met, and now they are also saying, we do not want you to continue working with this company. Activision Blizzard, for their part, not really very receptive to this, and we know that because on the earnings call this week that Activision Blizzard had, they were touting it to investors because that's what investors do want to hear.
It's such a good thing. Like, oh, we hired a law firm and they're doing a very independent look at us. It's going to be great. It's like, and it like. I was just begging for one of the questions, which I was probably never going to happen, to be like, hey, your employees formed a coalition specifically because they don't like this law firm you picked. But that whole call, like, I never expected like a big, reckoning from that call. But even still, there's 2 questions about the situation, and they were very weak. And then like the rest of them were just about like, monthly active users and mobile ads and that shit. It's like, man.
I mean, did we ever think investors were going to be the key to this solution? No, of course not, right? Like we knew they were never going to like actually care all that much. It's got to be the employees that continue.
So you would think like if I was an investor in Activision Blizzard, my concern right now would be about this and not about mobile ads and Candy Crush. Yep. But what do I know? I guess, man.
Yeah, I mean they are, and there is a class action lawsuit being formed That's another piece of news that happened this past week, where I think it actually got filed at least one class action lawsuit and the class is investors in Activision Blizzard who felt like since 2016 they weren't adequately informed of this situation and the possibility for a lawsuit from the state of California and stuff like that, and so they feel like they didn't have the information they needed to accurately set the price of Activision Blizzard stocks. And yeah, that's something that the company's going to have to deal with. It's still not going to solve the problems on the ground for the people. No way. This happened. I think this might have happened like 2 or 3 days ago. J. Allen Brack stepped down. This was just this week, right?
That happened the day we did Nintendo.
So
that
Tuesday.
Was on Tuesday.
Yeah, 3 days ago. It feels like a million years ago already.
Feels like a long time ago. Brack's been out, and we have 2 new people there. Did you have to write their names? I can't remember.
Yes, Jen O'Neill or Jess. It was Jen O'Neill and then Mike Ibarra, who used to be at Xbox Live and stuff.
And Jen O'Neill was the head of Vicarious Visions, which got absorbed into Blizzard very recently.
So 2 external people coming in recently, at least they were recently added into Blizzard, and now they're taking it over. Clearly, this is supposed to indicate that things are going to change, but they are not like really taking over J. Allen Brack's role, where he was like president of Blizzard or CEO of Blizzard. These are co-leads. This is still part of, and really all this. J. Allen Brack stepping down was not him stepping down. This is Bobby Kotick positioning all the pieces to relieve pressure on him.
And that's the concerning thing. When you just look at these 2 names, they seem like these seem like qualified people to lead Blizzard. The fact that they're co-leaders is a little weird. Like, you have 1, you have 3. Then at least you have the tiebreaker. You have 2. That's kind of awkward. The concern is that Bobby Kotick is going to have a lot more control now.
Yes,
because he can come in as maybe like best case scenario, he comes in as the tiebreaker. Worst case scenario, he knows that he's weakening the position by splitting it between these 2, so that he has much more influence in general.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening here. Just slightly change gears. I'll say I'm going into this weekend. I'm going to be taking some time off. I'm going to be looking for something to read, and one of my favorite places to go to find good articles to read was Fran Townsend's Twitter account, where she would share articles like the problems with whistleblowing. So I'm going to be looking forward to like finding out what she has this weekend to share. What do you? So there's a problem?
Jeff, no, her tweets are gone, man. For some strange reason, she's deleted her Twitter account, right? She just blew it
Anybody but Fran. Anybody but Fran.
Yeah, there's another question I was hoping somebody would have asked in that investor call about her, but no.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody reached out to Activision Blizzard, like I can't remember who, one of the journalists, and they just said, no, she's still here, and her Twitter account is her private business. It's like, okay, great. Awesome.
So yeah, just to reiterate there, some of these issues came to light because of whistleblowers, and Fran Townsend, who is chief compliance officer at Activision, former Bush lackey, who is most well known, and not just most well known, she's most well known for defending torture. But she's like, that's the thing, she's still like listed first in her Twitter bio, not like I'm currently an Activision Blizzard like a C-suite employee. No, I helped protect torture the policy in the Bush administration. She deleted her Twitter account after trying to shame whistleblowers. Just a wild thing.
Crazy.
I kind of have a real hard time putting myself in a person's shoes like that, where it's like trying to figure out like what thought process leads to tweeting something like that. But
I don't know. Maybe she's like, this will show them. Everyone will read this and then they'll understand.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe she's just that delusional.
That delusional. I think you might be right.
It's hard to say. Yeah. I saw someone in chat saying, and people bring this up. Yeah, like Bobby Kotick should step down. This is never going to happen.
Right. But this is in general. That's that's the subtext to what we're talking about here. Where in general, we think Bobby Kotick should take responsibility for this, and he should step down, and the change should happen from the very top. Like that's my feeling on the matter. But the
that's
reason
not going to happen unless investors want it to, and we kind of got the vibe from the call that they don't want that to happen. Bobby Kotick's made him a lot of money in the past. I think he's going to again. He's not going to take any responsibility for this himself, and I don't think the investors are going to force responsibility onto him. So the people who maybe can are the employees, and we're seeing some the start of organizing happening at Blizzard, but we'll see how far that goes, and is it going to spread to enough of Activision Blizzard proper all around? I don't know. I think Bobby is going to be sitting on his little perch there for quite a while still.
Yeah, and what we know, like Bobby Kotick fully understands that the only people that could really push him out, that have enough power, like right now, until the workers organize, but are the investors. And so, like Mike said, like we don't get the sense that they care about that. And one of the things that is happening here is Bobby Kotick is giving them all of the excuses they need to not care about it. J. Allen Brack stepping down. We hired an external law firm. These are things that we all know aren't good enough. These are things that the employees have said explicitly aren't good enough. We have a list of demands that you need to address. Those demands do not align in any way with the investor's interest. So Bobby Kotick can safely ignore them. The things that he needs to do are show that he's making some moves here and there to, again, take, when I said earlier, like he's positioning these pieces that take pressure off him. The only pressure he cares about is from the investors, and he has successfully done that. So it's miserable. It's grim. It's ghoulish. But he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see the investors getting more upset unless there is more organizing, more like big high-profile failures at Blizzard in terms of just like game sales and stuff like that. Like if Diablo 2 is somehow a flop, which I'm not really expecting, and if this lawsuit like gets really, really ugly and goes very poorly, then maybe people will look at Bobby again. But who knows how long that's going to take. So I feel like this is going to be the last major move we see for a bit, even though like they specifically said, there's going to be more firings, and we know that the head of HR was fired from Blizzard, which they should be, because that was like obviously a major problem. And I'm not saying like that I think J.R. Breck is some kind of fall guy here. Blizzard has been in rough shape during his short tenure. There's a lot of things that went on there. And look, I'm not there. I guess I can't say those must have all been his fault, but he was in charge. It certainly can't hurt to replace him. But there's so many questions about what is this going to do. Like, we already know one of the big problems with Blizzard is that Activision had been getting more and more involved to a way that I hate to say clashed with their culture, because their culture sucked in many ways, but at least in terms of making games, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't blame anybody who's not very optimistic about Activision Blizzard's future.
Same.
I'm sure the new Call of Duty is going to sell very well, but
and speaking of that, Call of Duty is still coming. They confirmed. They basically talked and said, hey, we'll be revealing Call of Duty soon or whatever. So still coming this year, and it's still going to sell a lot. And the most people won't notice this. I think if you, like me, feel a bit queasy when you think about playing Activision Blizzard games right now, I don't blame you. We're just not going to make much of a difference. It's just it's not going to make a difference to the bottom line, and that's what investors care about. Okay, so a lot of news. Let's get to this next thing. I wanted to bring this up, that Dead Space is coming in probably fall of next year, most likely October. This is a story from me. Hi.
From you, from Grubb Snacks.
From Grubb Snacks, yeah.
And from GamesBeat, I guess.
Yes, I posted the story on GamesBeat at the same time. So, yes. So, sources basically just say that this game is it looks really good right now. It's in good shape. Everyone's really happy with it. And they are aiming for an October 2022 release date. So, to me, that says, if everything goes well, maybe October. But all the jokes I got were, so we'll be playing this in 2023, or we'll be playing this in 2024. Sure. Then we get it. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally possible. I do think that the most likely scenario, though, is that it does release before the end of next fiscal year for EA, which would be March 2023. So March 2023 by the latest right now, unless there's some big issue. But hey, some big issue could certainly happen. Development's very difficult. It is still something they're going to be dealing with work from home and stay-at-home orders that could still come in different countries where this game's being made. And so, but right now, October 2022. And I wonder, is that sooner than you expected, or is that about right?
I guess about right. Maybe sooner, maybe a little sooner, but no, we'll say that's about right. Yeah,
and I think the one thing, maybe these remakes are like the kind of thing that can have a slightly faster development cycle. Like we've seen that with Capcom, right? Where they've been able to keep up a certain cadence with Resident Evil remakes that other games that seem just to look just as good cannot keep up with. So,
well, I mean, you have a lot of that. You have a lot of stuff set out there. You kind of know what game you're making. You can make a lot of creative, leeways here and there. But you have a beginning, you have an end, you have a structure. I think it helps a lot.
Yep.
I think we're going to be seeing more of them. And I know you can take a cynical look at them, but a lot of them have been very, very good. So I'm not really that upset about it. So whatever.
Okay, let's see here. Nintendo reported its earnings this earlier this week. It has sold 89 million Switch units. That puts it above the Wii. Or no, it does not put it above the Wii, but it puts it above the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 from that generation.
Overall, it's already sold more than those ever did, and it's like
Right.
outpacing the Wii, the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 2, the best-selling console of all time.
Right, outpacing. Like as long as you launch or align the launch lineups. Like I think you might have heard recently, like PS5, fastest-selling console through 8 months. I would say that I bet once we get past the holiday. And you can like include like because the Switch launched in March, right? So 8 months, like 8 months out from Switch wouldn't include its first holiday. So I think if you like line up their first full 12 months, they're probably going to be very, very close in terms of sales. But yeah, Switch is just continuing to sell like crazy. It's a little bit down from last year in terms of overall units sold. I think there's so many, but we expected
because
that.
the financial world is so great, that's why their stock fell. Because it's down. It's not perpetually just increasing forever.
Yep.
So everyone freaked out. And it's like, Nintendo's doomed.
Yep.
Best-selling system of all time going on right now. They're done.
Yeah, boy, it's easy to be frustrated with investors. Like they seem like bad people, and also, I'm sorry, let me start the joke over. They seem like bad people, but at least they're very stupid.
Yeah, right.
It's every time a stock like goes up or down after an earnings, I'll read an earnings report and then I'll go look at the stock. It's always the opposite of what I would expect it to be every single time.
Sometimes I feel bad that my job doesn't contribute more to the world, but at least I'm not into speculation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and just really bad at it, like just completely like shooting from the hip and not even thinking, and just if you want to ask like what Coke is like, this is a thing from before the show, but like if you want to ask what cocaine is like, Mike, go ask a Wall Street investor. They'll be able to tell you. That's the thing they know the most about.
I hope Dogecoin takes off more. Maybe they can only invest in those and stop messing around with things.
That's what they deserve.
About.
Absolutely.
Yes, they deserve Dogecoin.
Yeah.
All right, huge slam on investors. Let's. What else was up with Nintendo?
Yeah. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold 37 million copies. It sold like another. It sold like another like 1.5 million copies or something like that in the last quarter.
Again, Mario Kart 9. I just don't know. It's like why?
Yeah. And like our friend Tim Geddes over at Kind of Funny was asked this on their news show yesterday, and he was like, he still thinks Mario Kart 9 is going to come because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe makes so much money. Mario Kart 9 would also make all of that money as well, and so I get it, but I don't think. First of all, I don't think they need it's like opportunity cost, but even beyond that, I don't know if the family audience that purchases a Mario Kart game is going to buy 2 Mario Kart games for the same system. I think that is not necessarily what Nintendo thinks happens. What they think happens is you keep Mario Kart 8, or you keep Mario Kart on the shelves for an entire generation, because the primary people who are buying it are new families coming in and getting the console late in its life, and that has proven out absolutely.
It's also Nintendo. Nintendo can be like oddly beholden to tradition, and they've never released a Mario Kart on a platform, like more than one Mario Kart on a single platform. Right, and that might just freak them out for some reason.
And it's like the response to that would be Mario Kart 8 was a Wii U game, right, Mike? But does that matter?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not anymore.
It's sold like 5 times more on the Switch. It's like
5? It has to be more than 5. It has to.
I was like hesitant. I think it sold like 6 million copies on the Wii U or something like that. So almost like half of its install base. So I'm like, I think that's right. I might be wrong about that, but yeah, I guess we'll talk about some of these other numbers. But yeah, it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to me, 100% a Switch game. I bet Nintendo considers it a Switch game.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Let's see here.
Speaking of Wii U games that are basically Switch games now.
Yes, Super Mario 3D World has already outsold the Wii U version with 6.68 million copies sold versus 5.87 million copies sold. So, I mean, the Switch effect is real. Like you would assume, like a lot of people already played the game on Wii U, like a lot of fans did. Many of them probably did rebuy it, but this is just, it's also finding a new audience. And in, what was it? Like, it's been like 3, 4, 5 months since that game came out. Yeah, like something like that. That
was an early launch this year, right? Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, we're in.
How long have we been in Nintendo jail? That'll give us the answer.
That's a good point, man. Has it really been that long already? Yeah, man, 5 months or something like that. That's really impressive, and it just continues to show that like games that did well for Nintendo before are just going to continue doing even better. This game's probably going to be at 10 million by the end of the year.
Yeah. and it's great. It's it's one of those cases like good because this game's fantastic. I'm glad more people are playing it. Like
Yes.
it had that risk before of being like this, like, oh yeah, that's right, Mario 3D World. I forgot about that one because it was on the Wii U, and now it's gonna be played by more people than maybe like some of the old 2D games ever were.
Mm-hmm. And speaking to this point, like, oh, Nintendo Switch owners are buying a lot of games. Basically, you take the number of consoles out there and you take the software units that Nintendo has sold for the Switch, it adds up to an average of Switch owners owning 7 games per console. So for every Switch out there, people have purchased 7 games. That's a really high attach rate. That's a really good number. And it kind of again, it shows that people who own a Switch want to play a lot of games, and that makes a big difference. And this is like on a system where there's not Call of Duty. There's not a lot of the sports games. We've talked about this before, but a lot of the third-party games that tend to do very well on stuff like PlayStation and Xbox just aren't even an option on Switch, and yet people are still buying a ton of games. So it's like even a wider variety of stuff. Finally, Switch, in terms of like the Switch's performance, we talked about like hardware sales and it's outperforming the Wii, PS4, and PS2. The only system it's really not keeping up with right now is the DS. And I think we have to look at there is that the DS got a lot of revisions. It got a lot of like, there was like, DS Lite and DSi and DSi XL and all that stuff. And that stuff really helped. It hit a better pace. And the Switch hasn't had a lot of that yet. Hang on, I got a kid yelling at me.
Right. It hasn't had a ton of that yet.
I'm going to go deal with this. I'll be right back.
Sure. We have the OLED coming out, and there's going to be a few people. There are more people than I even thought who are going to just upgrade. But I think a lot of the double dipping, like with the DS, I mean, gosh, I probably bought 3 DSs, not a 3DS. I bought 3, as in a number, DSs during its lifetime. And that just kept going up because I wanted the new thing. And once there is a Switch Pro, I think a lot of people are going to do that. A very large number of people who own Switches are going to upgrade. And that is going to maybe put it back in front of the pace of the DS. He is not back yet. All right. That's all I had. All right, no, I'm playing this again. That was some jamming. That was nothing. Let's play an actual song now.
That was beautiful.
Ooh, that was a harsh one there. Nice hat.
Yeah, thank you.
And the stream actually went down for a bit too. I think there's some lost frames when I started doing that. What did you do? Did you turn on a video for your child?
I did, but that shouldn't mess it up that bad.
It messed it up.
Let me take a look here real quick, everybody. Let me see what OBS is saying. Yeah, it lost 1.5%. Yeah, it's going up and down. Let me take a look at the task manager and see if there's something
No
in my
cartoons
computer.
for the kiddos.
Yeah, I know. Get the hell out of here. OBS, Discord, those are the things using it mostly. Microsoft Edge. What is Microsoft Edge doing?
Oh, here, I'll play some more Lord of the Rings on the mic. You guys doing that? Here, this is the version they play when during Sam the Brave, right? There you go. I don't know if anybody knows Samwise the Brave, but
my
that's
autofocus should be off. Is my autofocus even on? It's Adobe probably. No,
I don't know what you're talking about. Very nice, if I do say so myself. Keep yelling at him. Keep yelling at Jeff. Guess I'm still playing.
Okay, I think we're better. No, of course, as soon as I say that.
SoundCloud. No, you can find my music on my MySpace.
I guess that's not that bad. Okay. All right. I think it's just I think it's just the YouTube servers, but because I can't. I mean, it did start right when I turned on that cartoon, but that should not be an issue.
Any Undertale fans there?
All right, I'm gonna check one more thing, and then we'll get started up again.
Yeah. No. No Undertale fans in chat. They don't deserve me. I'm tired of playing now. I can only cover. Oh, but look at this. I got the big boy. Let's see what we can do in this guy. I can't play Megalovania. No, you got Asgore. That's all you got from me.
Okay, it seems a little bit better now, so I think we're good. We're just gonna go with it. Sorry, everybody.
All right.
Okay.
We good.
Let's pick up right with the next story. And yeah, are you good, Mike?
Yeah, I'm good. I just was distracted by a super chat, but we'll get there.
All right. So speaking of Nintendo, picking up where we left off, they launched a free update for Mario Golf, Super Rush, I think it's called. I'm already forgetting that game. But basically, they added New Donk City as a course, and so I do want to actually go play that. That looks really good.
Yeah, I almost actually want the game now because there's a New Donk City course. So
yes.
what, Toadette's a character now?
Toadette's a character as well, yes. And there's a few other things. I think they added ranked matches, which I'll have to see how that actually plays. But I don't know if that really makes much of a difference to like how much fun it is to play like solo, even if you're playing multiplayer. But basically not as a party game is what I mean. But I'm glad that they're doing this. They said they were going to do this. It's a free update, so I'll definitely check it out. But it's I don't know. You did say you want to play it now, but are you actually going to pick it up?
Yeah, I mean, nah, maybe not $60. I want to play it now.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You know,
I don't blame you. Okay, let's get into Sony's earnings. Sony also had a pretty good quarter overall in terms of gaming, though. It also is facing tough comparisons to last year. PlayStation Plus subscribers were up year over year to 46.3 million.
Jeff, you're going in and out.
Oh yeah, I'm still losing. Okay, hang on. All right, let me try one more thing.
I'm losing you.
Okay, wait, can you not hear me on Discord?
I couldn't. Now I can. You're going in and out on Discord.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't follow you.
That's not great. All right. Let me yeah, there it does say that there is an issue on the Discord. Okay, well I'm gonna fix this. Hang on.
Okay. Just play Odyssey. I do want to play Mario Odyssey again, and I just played it again recently. Let me see if I can figure this. Theme tin whistle. I don't even know if that's an option.
All right, I had to pause the Xbox's connection that the kid's watching, so I'm gonna take her upstairs so she doesn't scream at us all. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, what can go wrong there? Kids are very understanding about things they don't understand. If you just tell them that it must be this way, they'll be fine. You only can play Death's Door. I didn't play. I can't play the song. I haven't played the freaking game yet, which I should. I gotta learn more songs apparently because I'm running out of material for you guys. I know this.
Okay. Hopefully that fixes it.
Can't fix my awful playing.
We were getting almost a full
God.
second of, well, no, there it goes again. It's still being a little bit laggy on Discord. Let me check the room, see if I can lower the bitrate or something.
Tell her to, how many ROMs is your daughter downloading right now? Tell her to
Yeah, that could
calm
be an
down.
issue. I'm like looking at the Wi-Fi and like the usage, and not much else is using it. So that's what's so frustrating.
Sharky Nights, is that something people are talking about? GTA 3 remaster, or is that just like a guess? I mean, it'd be neat, but I don't know. Dance but Mormons. You can't Mormonize me.
All right, let's go for it again. Let's try. I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay. So
You had to start from Sony.
yeah. So yeah. So okay. So talking about Sony earnings, they had a pretty good quarter. PlayStation Plus subscribers were up year over year to 46.3 million. That's up from 45 million. But like every other company in the space in gaming, they are seeing a downward trend from last year when you compare it to the heart of the pandemic to now, where more people are vaccinated. So last quarter they had 47.6 million PlayStation Plus subscribers. So they're down from that number, and it's a little bit more of a dip than you would expect, just due to like seasonality, where we go from the colder months to the warmer months, where fewer people are playing games. It was a little bit more harder of a dip, and really what you see this reflected in active users. So the PlayStation and ecosystem had 104 million active users. That was down from 114 million a year ago. So just fewer people playing games. Still, though, these are still historically pretty high numbers, and Sony's still doing very well. They also made some other announcements. Ghost of Tsushima Legends is getting a standalone release on September 3rd. And then there was the leak of PSVR 2. Did you see this stuff with PSVR 2?
No, I didn't. I'm actually just seeing this now.
Yeah, so
somehow I missed this.
So as a codename of Next Gen VR, it's going to use HDR OLED displays that are 2000 by 2040 per
we know
eye.
people love OLED.
Right, yes, yeah. Exactly. And it has a 110-degree field of view, which is much wider than the PSVR. And then they've shown the controllers before, but apparently it's going to have touch sensors, and it's going to work like all the best VR things now, where you can like move your fingers around and stuff like that. And apparently we're going to get more launch details in early 2022. So I imagine it probably launches by later that year.
I just hope that it's a lot easier to set up. Like, there were so many wires and things involved with setting up the PlayStation VR that, like, once I unplugged it for some reason, I never wanted to plug it back in again. Right. Almost, it was a pain.
Okay, so we're still getting issues with the stream mic. I'm gonna turn it on and off again. Okay. Hang on, everybody. We'll be right back. Okay. So Mike will be in chat for a second. I will be right back. It's gonna be like 5 minutes at the most. Sorry about that, everybody. We'll still get to all the super chats.
Not better.
There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna go pee real quick. Come on.
Hey, Chef, do you want me to change the server of the Discord?
Maybe. What is this set to right now? Okay, what are the options? Is there yeah, probably not Brazil. Let's see. Yeah, is there like a US Central? Yeah, let's try that. Thank you. All right. Yeah, no, I was watching that, and it was like giving me like 1,000 milliseconds every once in a while. So it'd like take a full second from what I was saying to get the mic, and then a full second to get back. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I restarted the router. I bet that was it. We haven't had these issues for weeks now, and of course, right before I was going to do Grubb Snacks yesterday, I started having these issues. So I like restarted the router, and that fixed it. But it's very frustrating because I paid a lot of money for this router. It shouldn't be like this. All right, everybody, we're getting started again here pretty soon. Let me refresh my thing so my chat comes back. Yeah, get in the Discord and play Back for Blood with Christian. He's saying play with Christian because he's not gonna play it because he's not interested in that game. And he said I'm peeing. Why I yelled at you? I'm peeing everywhere. Oh God, it's all over the toilet. Oh no. Oh God. Oh no, it's on the floor. Why won't I just aim? Why won't I just aim? This is why you should sit while I pee. He's saying all this. The audio's cutting out a lot. Okay. It says we've got 0 issues since I restarted. So how's the audio cutting out? Let me take a look and see what my audio is looking like. That's what he's saying. Blah, 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 blah. Let me take a look. Can you guys I think you need to restart, like refresh your thing, because it looks good for me. Can you guys I think you need to restart, like refresh your. Because I was testing the audio. I needed to hear it. Well, then they were saying it was lip syncing was off as well. So, but I think that's just. Yeah, everyone should just refresh the page if you're seeing any issues with that, because I think we're good now. Getting a solid, smooth 30 frames per second at 720p, like a good American podcast. What's Mike doing? Oh, okay, I see what Mike's doing. Like, all right, you're good now. He's gone. Thanks, Christian, for your help. Okay. Refresh did it. Okay, everyone's saying that the refresh works. So if you're seeing any continued audio issues, unless for some reason you like it when we look all weird and the audio is in sync, then don't refresh. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah, this is our show. Yep, it does happen. Well, he's good at that. Okay, let's get back into it. Am I good? I'm like, no, I never stopped the recording, so I'm good there. I just need to figure out where I'm going to pick up from. Let's just, yeah. Okay. So PSVR seems like it's going to be cool. It seems like it's going to launch next year. What do you think? Agreed. Never played it. Yep. There's like still like 2 I never finished that Astro VR game, Astrobots Rescue Mission, and so I'm like, I want to go back, and I do still want to play that, but setting it up is such a pain. I just have never yeah. And then there's another game where like your controller is like almost like an escape room where you can like move it, and it's like a DualShock controller, and so you move it around and you have to press all the buttons to figure out like how. So PSVR 2's coming out next.
Why was I even muted?
Because I came back and you were in the bathroom and I forgot, and I didn't want to I'm like, maybe he'll say something about penises, so we can't have that.
Oh, come on, people need to hear that stuff.
I need this vacation, Mike. This is what it is.
This is going great. Let's talk about PlayStation VR one more time. This time everyone will hear it, and we'll include it in the podcast, and it'll be terrific.
PSVR seems like it's gonna be good, Mike.
I hate wires, and if this one has wires, I'm gonna get mad.
Same here. I wish that wires would die, and then I would play more Astro.
I'm gonna kill you with wires. I'm gonna strangle you.
If you're confused on the audio version, just listen to all the stuff after the end song.
We had technical issues, so we're
I'm
frustrated.
gonna put it all behind there. It's all gonna be there.
I'm taking out my frustrations as I usually do with murder fantasies on Jeff.
Take-Two also reported their earnings. Grand Theft Auto 5 has sold 150 million copies. They're going to announce a new game in August, though. What do you think that's going to be? Do you think it's that Marvel XCOM game, or is it maybe that Hangar 13 game?
I mean, gosh, flip a coin. We'll say Marvel. Why not?
Yeah, I think it lines up because what I've heard is that Marvel XCOM game is coming by like March of next year, and so they could announce it now and then lead up to that. That would make some sense. So and a little bit more on that Marvel XCOM game. It's going to focus on supernatural Marvel stuff, so like vampires, things like that, and you're not going to be playing as any specific named heroes. You're going to make your own. So it's going to be. That
sounds kind of bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I want to wait and see before I like give my opinion on that. But I get what you mean. Like you want to play as like Wolverine, right, and stuff like that.
Maybe,
like that would make sense.
I don't know. Maybe people are a little burnt off from the Avengers game, right? Like, oh, it's another game with like new interpretations of like Captain America looking like my buff dad, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you could maybe like still name your friends as superheroes like you do in other XCOM games. That's always fun. But we'll see how it works. Do you does the vampire stuff sound bad to you, or are you okay with like Blade side of Marvel?
Blade does absolutely nothing for me.
Okay.
I guess I can't say I dislike Blade, but I've never have been very interested in Blade.
Something you are interested in, New World. It's going to get delayed, and I'm very sorry about this, Mike. I know you're a huge Amazon Games fan.
It's getting delayed by a month from a late August release to a late September release.
For now.
Oh, for now. Which, hey, look, their last game never left beta, right? Oh, it got taken out of beta and then was canceled. So they should take the time and make sure that they got this in a good place before they launch it, because it could be Amazon Studios' last game. We don't know.
Yep. And then let's see, there's some acquisition news over the past week. A lot of acquisitions happened, not from the big companies, like the biggest companies, but from some names that are still pretty big in acquisitions. Specifically, Embracer acquired 8 more studios. I don't have them listed here. It was a lot, though. I mean, that's
a lot of studios.
It's Embracer. They're just continuing to embrace everybody. Nacon. Get embraced. Nacon bought Creature Studios, which is the developer that made Session, that skateboarding game. And then Focus Home Interactive acquired .emu, which is a favorite of mine. I believe it's a favorite of yours as well. Streets of Rage 4 is what they're best known for right now. But they're doing that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. I'm excited about that stuff. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, just give them more money so they can remake and make more spiritual sequels to older games. And they even said that they want to get into that first generation of 3D games now. So it's remake, I don't know, Glover or something crazy.
Yeah,
Let's go.
for real. That would be, yes, there is so much potential there. Like a new Colony Wars from them or something like that. They could just do so much stuff. And I wonder how their style mashes up with that. Like, do they try to add like their modern sensibilities to it, like the way they have with like Streets of Rage 4, where it's like clearly it still looks and feels a lot like Streets of Rage, but the animation is so much better, and all this stuff. Is that something they try to do with these first gen 3D games, or what?
It's important to remember, like, .emu's is a publisher, really, and they find these studios so it depends on that a lot of the time. They kind of work with the strengths of whoever they're getting, and there's a lot of people they can team up with to do. There's a lot of indie people who are getting into 3D platformers now, so they can do that. I mean, they can even get the Platonic, right? The ukulele people, and maybe they can help them actually make a better kind of Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor.
A lot of people in chat are very excited about your Glover idea.
They should be. I have very good ideas.
But I think that they should do one of the better PlayStation 1 games, Pepsi Man. Give us Pepsi Man. Yeah.
Oh, no.
All right, let's see here. Okay, this is a dumb one. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is getting renamed to PUBG Battlegrounds. So now
PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Basically, yes.
Why isn't it just PUBG?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably because Battlegrounds is still important for SEO or whatever. I don't know. And Battlegrounds is a name they use on mobile a lot. Like I think they're doing like new Battlegrounds or something like that. That's coming out pretty soon. Like they have another mobile game coming.
When is it going to become Player Unknown's PUBG Battlegrounds?
Yeah, that'll be the reboot. The Player Unknowns, the PUBG, the Battlegrounds. And then finally, a nice story. The Halo announcer has a Cameo page. Cameo's that site where you can like pay people to like say messages or whatever. And someone paid him to say trans rights in the Halo announcer voice. And so he goes trans rights. It's very cool. But he doesn't just say that. He gives this nice, really long preamble talking about how he's an older man. He's witnessed civil rights fights his entire life. And he's like, hey, this reminds me of all that stuff. So it's really important to me that I'm glad you sent me this message. Trans rights, all this other stuff. It was a very nice message.
It's been the same guy doing that announcer voice since Halo started.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it sounds. That's what it sounds like. I think that's what this is. Yeah, for sure. But it was a very nice social media post. So if you could track that down, go check it out. Maybe I'll put a link to it in the description. Mike, that's all the news I have. But we do have quite a few super chats. You want to get those glasses on and start reading away?
Okay, glasses. Time to start reading things.
All right.
Kung Fu Hot Dog says, "Hello, gents. Hope your week's been good. It's been a week. I'll say that much about it. EA remaking Dead Space after firing Visceral. Yeah. I want Bad Company 3. Damn it. Bet they don't hear that. Well, I mean, hey, Bad Company 2 is like one of the first Battlefield games they're bringing as part of that Battlefield crossover thing. What's that called?
Battlefield Portal.
Yes.
I think that lines up now a little bit more with what I've heard before, where they were going to do Bad Company remakes and stuff, like remasters, maybe closer to remasters. And Vince Zampella, when he kind of got put above Dice LA, and now they're that's not Splash Damage. I can't remember what they're called now. But he basically scrapped that and said, hey, we might want to do something else with this stuff. Let's figure it out. Let's actually come up with a game plan for how we're going to approach that stuff. And now bringing those things into Battlefield Portal makes more sense, where it's like, this is how we're going to deal with this stuff for now. And then if we want to go back to Bad Company in another way in the future, we could still do that. But for now, let's just bring that stuff into Portal and make it part of this big platform. So they definitely know people want more Bad Company. I think they just want to make sure they get it right whenever they go back to it.
Sure. Space Dovikin just asks, is Mike doing Coke? No, it's just Coke Zero. Sugar, which Coke is about to ruin, which might actually drive me into hard drugs. We'll see. Jay Stud McLovin says Sony won't undercut themselves this year, but do you think they'll announce anything big in Q1? And what would you want? Also, thanks for Nintendo's contest. That's right. Did you pick those winners yet, Jeff?
Yeah, Jay Stud McLovin is our winner.
Oh, yeah. Very nice. Oh, yep. Well, congrats, Jay Stud.
Yeah.
I wonder why he was thinking us. Well, good. Yeah, congratulations. So do we think Sony's going to announce anything big in Q1? So, I mean, the question is, when are they announcing the game after God of War, like the next really big one?
Right.
Which maybe it lines up where that's going to be Naughty Dog's next thing. Although, I don't know. They announced Last of Us Part 2 really early.
A lot of stuff they announced, right?
Regretted doing that.
Yeah. I mean, we know Final Fantasy 16 is coming, so why you get what's the next big game coming? Horizon. You get Horizon out in Q1 of next year, and then you start talking about God of War, and then you start talking about Final Fantasy 16, and you don't have to make any big announcements through that entire time. Maybe they do have something. I think Q1 would be too early. I
mean, we've been seeing a lot that people are pushing back the announcements of games closer and closer to the actual release date, and it hasn't impacted them negatively. So, I don't think in Q1 they're going to announce a 2023 game. Right. Maybe that they think they might have to once Horizon's out, so people know what they're looking forward to after God of War. But I think people will be fine just looking forward to God of War, Final Fantasy 16, and if Persona 6 gets announced, that'll be something very heavily tied into PlayStation also. So, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't count on it. It's possible, but it's not something I'm expecting.
Right. Yeah, we didn't even mention the Ghostwire Tokyo. They have that coming next year as well. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is you. I was going to read more news, Mike.
No, you're done, Jeff. I know. Take a breath. Here, let's do a breathing exercise. We got this. In. And now you have to, like a motorboat. You feel better?
Yeah, much better. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Kyle Martin says, happy Friday. Hey, happy Friday to you, Kyle. What's your most anticipated game for the rest of 2021? Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker.
God damn it. Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread would probably be if we're not talking if expansions don't count. Don't count.
Don't count.
Don't count.
Man.
Expansions
He takes
he
takes a deep breath and he couldn't keep his facade of like his Italian accent under wraps
my
anymore.
actual voice. This is how I wanted to speak unto you. No, I'm allowed to talk like that because I am Italian.
Yep.
So yeah, Metroid. I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting, but Metroid and Walker, those are the big ones. Pawson Theory says, I did the naughty thing that Jeff Grubb told us to do and downloaded files from a ROM site. Okay, what's the number for 911? I then made VC injects and installed them on my 3DS. I could feel the evil flow through me. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Never mind. Get me the president. We got to go to the top to stop this.
Yeah.
You too, Jeff. You're in trouble.
I got my baby right here. I got mine all set up and ready to go. ready for those injects.
You still have the pile of portable devices next to you that you're going to like pick a different one up each time because you're doing like a bit.
Maybe.
Yeah. You think you're funny.
Yeah, maybe.
But you're not. Jalen asks, are there any more events for the big three this year? I mean, let's start with Sony first because everyone's been asking that constantly. Is there going to be a Sony event this year?
Yeah, I think there's going to be one in September still. We'll know. I mean, big event. Like, what do you describe a big event as? Like, I mean, maybe it won't be huge. They'll have a state of play of some sort probably in September, and then.
And then, is that where we're going to talk about Horizon being delayed?
I feel like they might do that before, and then they might try to like fill in the gap afterwards. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still picking up portables for people who are wondering.
Great.
Yeah,
very funny.
Yeah, it's very good. And then here's the baby. Here's the little Game Gear one.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I think we'll probably also get like a Nintendo Direct of some sort. Maybe a
like
Nintendo Direct Mini.
An Indie Direct. I mean, you could do a whole Indie Direct basically if you have something to say about Hollow Knight Silksong. Like that will justify that. And like they must have to have something to say eventually here. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think we'll get something like that, either an Indie Direct or a mini Direct, something like that, before the holidays. And then for Xbox, I don't know. I'm not sure. They're focused on Halo, so they don't have to do quite as much.
Stephen Lamb says, checking in from Cedar Point. Happy Friday, fellas. Hey,
you
had fun.
I've not been there in many years, but I had a lot of fun going there as a kid.
I went there a few years ago for my brother's birthday. It's in Ohio, so it's not super far from me. I'm not a big, as much as I love theme parks, I'm not a big roller coaster guy, so there's not too much for me to do there. I like going on the train. I like going on the sky buckets, though. It's a very historic park. Very,
yes,
I take pride in it for some reason.
Yes, it's regularly had the highest roller coasters in the world, like many times. Not right now, but it has in the past. And the ones that it built, they're still super fun. I love Cedar Point.
Modu Mufti was with rumors that TSMC will raise the prices for their wafers 25% from next year. How do you think this will affect costs of making the new consoles? Who is TSMC, Jeff?
The Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company.
Wow. Okay, good job.
Yes, yeah, no problem. They're the company, we've talked about it before. It's the one that AMD works with to actually fabricate all of their chips. These are the chips that are inside the Xbox, the PlayStation. They're inside the Radeon GPUs, the Ryzen CPUs, all this stuff. It's gonna. There's not much that these companies can do because Nintendo. It might honestly, to me, this is like why Nintendo raises its price. I mean, now Nintendo, I think, is not TSMC. I'm trying to remember who actually manufacture. It might be TSMC manufacturing those chips right now, the X1 Tegra. But basically, how do you raise the price of a console? It's like a very difficult public strategy to pull off with the public. Nintendo is getting away with it right now before our very eyes. These other companies are not as lucky or as good at this as Nintendo, and so they might have to just eat those costs. I think so. Like TSMC is going to raise those prices. Like AMD and like Xbox and PlayStation are gonna have to all kind of like each one will talk to AMD and they'll decide like, hey, are we gonna split the costs or who absorbs most of this? But it's probably not going to get passed on to the consumer. If it does, it'll get passed on in other ways. There'll be price increases in other areas. There's not a lot of good places for these companies to do that. So yeah. Honestly, the real thing is it just might lead to even more shortages.
Jalen's001 says, buy one, rent one, and one goes away forever. I think he designed this one so that we would start fighting.
Oh, no.
Nintendo, Mega Man series, and Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Oh my god.
You can go first, Jeff.
All right, read them to me again. It's
Nintendo, Mega Man series, and Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Wow, that's tough for me. So Mega Man goes away forever. I'm sorry, Mike. I like Mega Man, but not like that.
Really, over that one Star Wars movie.
Yeah, that is incredible.
The entire Mega Man. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I will rent Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and I will keep Nintendo. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, keep Nintendo. Man, that's hard between Nintendo and Mega Man. I guess all of Nintendo. I'll keep Nintendo, rip Mega Man, and easily, like, I'm not even one of those people who hates Last Jedi, but yeah, I'll throw it away over those two things. But yeah, I am very much tired of the Last Jedi discourse. I'm not even gonna fall for this obvious bait. I'm moving on from it. Deadly Virus Evo says, Mike, is Jeff Grubb the Dave Meltzer of video games journalism? Not until you use my my 5-point scale and give something a 7. then you'll be Dave Meltzer.
I get these references. That's good.
Yeah, these are wrestling references. That's hard to say for people who don't know what I'm talking about. Space Dovakin says, word on Twitter is that Mike is doing Coke Live. That's true. Kung Fu Hot Dog, Jeff, Mike, do you think Ubisoft will face a similar lawsuit against them, as well as other developers? The landscape is wide open for anything now. I think if Ubisoft was going to get into like a big lawsuit legal thing, and there might have been some things, but like on that Activision Blizzard scale, maybe that would have happened. I don't know, Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, it's different because France and Europe have different workers' rights and laws and stuff like on the books. It's much stricter in those countries than it is in the United States or even in a state like California. So workers might have more luck like bringing their own civil suits. Honestly, I don't even know what it would be. Is it a civil suit if it's in France? I don't know. But you're right. Maybe there's more of a chance today than there was like a couple months ago that there could be something because people are motivated by what's happening at Activision. But because the laws are so different, I'm not sure if it's like a one-to-one thing.
But, we're going to see fallout. We see some developers and studios kind of come out ahead of this and like, make statements about their commitment to, equality and stuff like that. We did talk about this in the news, but there's the thing that happened to the Gone Home developer this week with I can't remember their name now, but the guy who wrote Gone Home
and Steve Gaynor, Gaynor, yeah. We're just like that. You're right. That fallout where like people are more willing to come out and speak on this stuff. I wonder if that's a direct result of what happened with Activision Blizzard, if that stuff was like being reported before that. But either way, like multiple people spoke out about that, and we're hearing about it now. And it does feel like these things could start to snowball, and people and then the tide changes, and people want to get these people out. So that seems possible.
What do you think about him not like being removed from the company, but just like he's just the writer now? No one has to deal with him, but he still writes the game. Like maybe it's too far along where you can't not do that. I don't know, but it's weird.
It's tough because I wasn't there. It does sound like specifically the problem was he was an undermining manager, and that's not against the law. And it's not even something that is like traditionally the kind of thing where you would even report it like as like a story. But there were so many examples of women not wanting to work with him, and the company having like trouble hiring women. That's why it did become a news story. But it's like, it wasn't because he was directly sexually harassing them. It wasn't because he was even, I don't even think they were like paying them less or something, like discrepancies like that. He would just, the way he would speak to women sounded different than the way he spoke to men. And the women started to feel like they started to notice it and started to weigh on them and like made them want to leave. And that's bad in its own right, but that's a management issue. And if he's like, if they want to just continue to have him write the game and say, you're being demoted from this, I guess that's punishment enough. I don't know. To me, I would just not want to work there. I would, if I was one of the women, I would leave.
A lot of people decided they don't want to work there. So,
right, exactly.
Yeah. Vara23 says, hi from Singapore. Hello. With the second ID at Xbox show announced for August, you think Xbox will have a big presence at Gamescom or another show before the Game Awards?
Sorry, I was reading the chat. What was the question?
Oh my god. With the second ID at Xbox show announced for August, do you think Xbox will have a big presence at Gamescom or another show before Game Awards?
I don't think they're going to have a big thing at Gamescom. I don't think so. Like opening night live, is that what it was? Is that what they mean?
Yeah. Jeff Keighley used to do that, right?
Yeah, Jeff Keighley still does that. I think that maybe they'll have something, but I think they're more likely going to start talking about stuff at the Game Awards. Again, it's all Halo right now for them, and then when they get to the Game Awards, it'll be just past Halo, more than likely, and so they'll be ready to talk about stuff more then.
Afro Ahmed says, how likely is a Bloodborne remaster or at least a 60 FPS patch at Sony's next two August/September events? Is a remaster even real or a massive pipe dream?
I still think it's not ready yet. I still don't. If it's like something that's going to happen, it still doesn't seem like it's still too early for that to be the case. And people in chat are asking if this is live or pre-recorded. It is pre-recorded.
Okay. Evan Dance asks, Lost Soul Aside release date when? I don't even remember what Lost Soul Aside is, Jeff.
I don't either. It sounds like a 90s band.
What is Lost Soul Aside? It sounds like a JRPG, doesn't it? Lost Soul Aside.
And it looks like 1-2 a little bit here.
And it looks like 1-2. This is an action RPG. Man, well, I'll tell you what, we clearly don't know when the release date is, so Jeff, maybe you can add that to your listy list.
Yeah, I'll add it to my list. Yeah, there we go. Lost Soul Aside will be added to the list.
Who is it? Alt Zero Games. What else do these guys do? Alt Zero. Like, what is this? It looks kind of like Final Fantasy 15. But it's not the other game that looks like Final Fantasy 15 that's actually being made by Square Enix. So, okay. Yeah. Oh, this thing here says it's inspired by Final Fantasy 15. Okay. Yeah, the main character looks like Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. All right. So, there we go. Something we will now throw that on the radar. It was not, but now it is. So, your money wasn't completely wasted, just mildly wasted on us. Sleepy Goblin 2D says, here's $5. Mike, play Gilligan's Island, please. Well, I'll have to see if I can learn that one. I'll have to find it. When it's like video game music, people usually like make tabs and stuff for that. I'll have to see what I can do for Gilligan's Island. Brett Bingham says, Jeff, about that Xbox tweet with the Spartan from Halo holding a flag on the moon. Luden's reference or not? Perhaps some news soon on Kojima game?
I don't know. Maybe I'm like so not sure about Kojima theories anymore. It's I think this is probably nothing. Probably.
Brett Bingham also says, wishing the game Take-Two is announcing is Midnight Club. Sad face. And I could go for some more like it's great we have Forza, but I can go for more racing games than that, especially that kind of arcade. Right. I do anything for them to bring Ridge Racer back. It's got to happen at some point, I assume, but it doesn't seem like it. Also, like, you'd have to spend money on that now. I don't know if Namco wants to spend too much money on games aside from like Tales anymore. Like, what else are they investing in these days? I don't even know. Tales, Tekken,
right,
and Tales.
Tekken's a big thing.
Yeah. Elliot White, Beef and Cheddar Boys. I'm impatiently awaiting the Balin novel review as a means to sub to Patreon. Also, don't stop the Flute. Bald, not a virgin. Jeff, thank you. But thank you yes, Jeff's working pretty hard on that Balin's Wonderworld novelization review, I'm sure, right, Jeff?
Yes, of course. That's why I'm taking time off from work, so I can focus all of my efforts on that 100%. Mike, I like his reference there to you. Sounds like bald, non-virgin Jeff is like... people are asking me a lot of questions that are answered by my name in this super chat. It's kind of how it feels like. But
there you go. So, we were talking about semiconductors and wafers and things earlier. Space Dovican asked, why aren't wafers made of sand? I don't know what wafers are in this situation. Are wafers glass? Is that what that is?
No, wafers is just the giant, like chips get printed all on a giant wafer, and then they just cut them up, and then they put them in different stuff.
When I hear wafer, I think of like cookies.
I mean, it's a giant circle, and it kind of, if it comes out, it kind of feels like a big cookie. So, like, it definitely is like evoking that imagery. Basically, just go get a bag of sand from the hardware store, pour it in your computer, and it'll run way faster. So, spot on.
Okay, great. I'll do that. All right, Jeff, that's it for Super Chats for now. If people have more, we will get to them. But why don't we get to what Discord's been asking us?
Yeah. So, like always, people could send in questions from the Discord if you're a Patreon member. There's a little thing in the podcast producers channel. And people kind of, all week, they kind of send in stuff. And this one comes from Nick Turbo earlier this week, asking, I'm sure this is just bothering him. So this is what he sent in. Why is the Intellivision Amico a thing? And
gosh, oh, there's more to it than that.
no, I'm like, it's a tough question. It's, every kid asks this eventually, so I'm glad Nick Turbo's asking us.
Well,
Ken does.
look, they think they see a market opportunity there because the Wii was such a big hit, and nobody's really going after that audience, quote unquote, anymore. So there's like, we could make a cheap console designed around kind of family-friendly games. That's the thinking, and that's a pitch you can sell to investors. I think it might be flawed in that I think a lot of those people are just playing mobile games now, or they've got, like, a lot of people just play games now. A lot of adults play video games. They don't need to have it be like a simple motion control-y thing anymore. But that's why it exists. Did it come out? It's not out yet, right?
I don't think
last thing I heard was that weird episode where Tommy Tallarico kind of freaked out online and threatened to sue the gaming journalist because he got publicly available information.
I mean, Mike said it. It is what it is. It's just some people think they can make some money with an idea that is maybe a bit out of time. Who knows? Maybe it'll prove us all wrong. But looking at those games, I don't see a lot of reasons to get excited, even if you're someone who is like in an old folks home and you really loved Wii Bowling or something like that.
I guess just still play Wii Bowling.
Right. Wii Bowling still works just fine. And it's like something that everyone understands already. So, yeah. From Jayton. Hey, Jeff and Mike, got another question for you. Suppose there's a deserted island that... Hang on, let me... Okay. Suppose there's a deserted island that conveniently has a TV and power. Name a console and 3 games on it you would bring with you. So, 1 console with 3 games.
Am I by myself, so I don't want multiplayer games? Let's assume that.
Yeah, let's assume that, yeah.
Man, that's pretty rough. I mean, because part of me wants to just cheat and be like, I'll bring up PlayStation 5 so I can play Final Fantasy 14 forever.
Right. But then you could ask for help to get off the deserted island, so.
Yeah, although that might be, what if someday they turn down Final Fantasy 14? Let's say that's not in the spirit of this.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's say maybe, this is tough. This is very perplexing.
I'm going to go with, I think I'll...
Because I want a Super Nintendo, yeah, but like I want games that are longer.
Right. I feel like Xbox Series X with its backwards compatibility is like a really good answer here. So I would be like, but I mean,
you only get 3 games.
Yeah, I only get 3 games. So like, what do I even want that's like that much? Because I feel like I want like something like Skyrim, something that has like a sandbox thing. You know what? I'll do Switch, and I'll do Breath of the Wild, and I will do. That's tough.
Yeah, maybe I'll do Switch, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and Smash Brothers anyway, so I'll just get really good at fighting the computer.
Can I cheat and do Super Mario 3D All-Stars?
I mean, I don't know.
So that gives me a few more games.
Why don't you just get Skyrim on Switch? You already said that was something you wanted.
Yeah, Skyrim there. Skyrim on Switch there. There we go. And I'll do Super Mario 3D All-Stars.
Compilations are out.
Fine, then I'll do Super Mario Odyssey too, because that's really a great game on there. So yeah, I've already played it through like 2.5 times. So clearly I enjoy playing it over and over.
Yes.
All right. From Jim Ryan.
No, he hasn't been hearing about you trying to fornicate with him, has he?
Listen, that was not my doing. I just answered the question.
You encouraged it.
From Jim Ryan. Hey, Jeff and Mike, while it is good that there is a leadership shakeup at Blizzard, is it fair to say J. Allen Brack gets more of the blame for the current situation than he deserves, and that Mike Morhaime has gotten far less than he should? That's probably a little bit fair, but
maybe. But I mean, Morheime's not there. You can't punish Mike Morhaime unless you have some legal proofs and stuff like that. And we're hearing from a lot of people that Mike Morhaime was kind of responsible for this culture in a lot of ways, or at least he didn't do very much about it. And I don't know, maybe that's going to hurt his efforts at his new studio. Maybe not. That's why he came ahead of this when he did. I don't know if I want to defend Brack too much. He clearly wasn't helping. And look, none of the Blizzard employees have really come out to defend him, right? None of them really said, no, he's our guy. We want him to stick around. Don't get rid of him, right? So I think he needed to go. So it's fine. I agree that, in a perfect world, Morhaime would somehow face more repercussions of this. I just don't know how it could be done right now. You can't fire him because he doesn't work there.
Agreed. From Nick Turbo, Mike said a few weeks ago that he does not want to play Tales of Basteria on Steam because he wants to play it portably. With the Steam Deck, what other games will you want to play on it?
Yeah, it is funny, right? Because like I bought that on, well, I did buy it on sale. I'm like, I bought it, but like I don't even want to play it on Steam because I don't want to play it on my PC. And now they made a Steam Deck like for me, so I can play this thing on here. Yeah, like basically like all these other Tales games that are available on Steam, I can now just play on my Switch. Like even maybe Tales of Arise, I don't know, maybe that'll run on the Steam Deck fine, and I could play that one on my Switch already. The Trails games, when some like Trails of Cold Steel, because not all of those are on Switch. Some of them are, but now I can play through all of them on my Steam Deck. So that'd be good. So all Tales and Trails games that are JRPGs, I guess, is my answer. Oh, you know what else? What's that? Gosh, what's that RPG that everybody loved that I should have played? With a lot of dialogue choices and stuff.
Yeah. Quest
Disco
64.
Elysium.
Okay.
No,
good.
Disco Elysium. I should probably finally play Disco Elysium, and
That's
I
a
can
good
do
game.
that
That's
on my
a good
Steam.
game.
That seems like it's going to be a good Steam Deck game.
Yes. From Nick Turbo, this one's...
You can answer the question too, Jeff.
My answer is everything. I'm going to play everything on the Steam Deck. I cannot wait. From Nick Turbo, for Jeff, buy one, rent one, and one goes away forever. Cyberpunk 2077, Mario Golf Super Rush, and Returnal. And he says hashtag 60% gang. Which,
get those 3 out of 5s.
Yeah, so these are all 3 out of 5s, which Metacritic interprets into 60%. And I gave all these games 3 out of 5s. So yeah, buy one, rent one, one goes away forever. I think that I will buy Returnal. Man, yeah. I'm going to answer it like this. I'm going to buy Returnal. I'm going to rent Mario Golf Super Rush because I do occasionally want to play that game online with other people. And Cyberpunk 2077 can go away forever because I have played it and I don't have any interest in really playing it again. So it's okay if it goes away forever.
Isn't it just the funniest thing that so many people were mad at you for giving Cyberpunk a 3 out of 5, and then it became like the gamers like public enemy number one shortly after.
It's so funny because there's like this reactionary person on Twitter who's like, I don't know what were we even arguing about, but it came up like like I gave Cyberpunk a really bad score too, and gamers didn't get mad at me, so they're not just getting mad at this person because she's a woman who gave it a bad score. I'm like, okay. When did you review it? And it was like a week and a half after it came out. And I'm like, by then, that game, it was the most pandering thing in the world to kind of come out and give that game a bad review at that time. And so it's how it flipped so hard that a few weeks later, my 3 out of 5 was too high. And it's like,
no, people actually were mad at you. People were bringing it up now. I was like, look at this guy. He gave it's the same score as Returnal, but Returnal's so much better. Stuff like that. Yeah. Cyberpunk.
Gamers. From Nick, Delta Prime 84 here in parentheses. All right, Delta Prime 84. What do you have to say? Hi, Jeff and Mike. I sent up just to ask you guys about these things since Grubb Snacks is on it. It's something like 3 a.m. my time. Well, thank you for doing so. We appreciate that. Question 1. I was wondering if you have heard if Sony is planning to get their PC ports out quicker in the future with their purchase of Nixies, maybe even day and date. And are there any franchises you don't expect Sony to bring to PC as a way to encourage PS4 and PS5 console purchases? I personally, we haven't heard one thing one way or the other. I think it's all pretty clear though that the goal is to make stuff happen quicker, but I don't think that quicker is going to be day and date. And I think they're still going to have that gap of at least a year and a half, 2 years. And right now it's like 3 years. That'll probably shrink a little bit, but they're still going to have that gap too. And that'll be what encourages people to get a PlayStation 5. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't think it's going to be day and date. It's just, and they've said as much. The goal here is to get these things happening faster. In terms of like specific series that won't come over, I don't know. For some reason, I have a hard time seeing Gran Turismo on PC, but that's just because like my brain, it's like that's such an older franchise, and there aren't that many more of these like legacy PlayStation franchises. Like from PlayStation 1, like God of War even seems newer significantly than Gran Turismo. But I think mostly everything's on the table.
I agree. Question 2 from Delta Prime 84. Rockstar has mentioned content coming exclusively to GTA Online expanded and enhanced on PC, and the PC version, maybe, I guess is what that is. I'm wondering if you have heard if that means PC players are not going to be able to purchase an equivalent to the PS5 version, and they will be stuck on the 8-year-old version of the game, or is the PC version going to be updated to the new version of the Rage engine that the PlayStation 5 version is rumored to be running on? So basically, is the PC going to get the same updates that PS5 is getting? My guess here would be that yes, you're just going to get that stuff for free on PC, and that's why they're not making a big deal out of it, because they're going to sell it to people again on PlayStation 5, and on PC they probably don't think they'll get away with that, so they're just going to do updates. So, but maybe not. We'll keep an eye out for it. We'll see if that happens. All right, hang on. This one.
Yeah.
Louis Patelli made a mistake. I think he put it in the wrong things. So his name is Happy Weekend, fellas. Have you guys started? So this is his question, but this is from Louis Patelli. All right. Have you guys started playing The Ascent yet? It's so good. It's on its way to a lot of Game of the Year lists, in my opinion. So this is one of those games where I've heard a lot of mixed stuff, but like not mixed as in like, oh, it's okay or it's bad. It's mixed stuff like it's okay or this is my jam and I really like it. I've heard a lot of people really like it.
See, yeah, I thought you played it. Or
I did.
Yeah, so you
played
it.
Yep, and I am enjoying it so far. I kind of ran out of time and haven't spent a lot of extra time with it. But from what I've played, it does seem kind of like my jam.
So I haven't started it yet, and I mean, I hate to be the guy I was looking at the Metacritic, but like the Metacritic's not very good. So I guess I was like, I don't need to care about this. But if it is just one of those oddly divisive games, maybe I need to give it a thought at some point. We'll see.
It's on Game Pass. Give it a shot.
Sure.
Another one from Louis Patelli. What is going on with the Cyberpunk 2077 DLC and next gen patch? Are either or both still coming this year? We haven't heard a peep from CDPR lately.
That's right. Like, are those coming this year, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I bet
not.
I know. I would say like I would want to lean towards yes, but I'm like I would not actually bet on that. I don't know.
What do you think the priority is? I feel like the priority would be the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X versions over the
I agree.
things.
Like yes, yeah, you want to get those next gen versions out to like set that as the new baseline. The people you need to like appeal to are the people who are upgrading and care a lot about this stuff. Like there was like public mainstream news stories about Cyberpunk when it was a problem. All of that stuff is gone and lost and doesn't matter anymore. Now it's just like focus on the people who like knew who CDPR was before Cyberpunk came out, and those are the people who are going to be buying next gen consoles. Get a version out for them, try to win them over again, and then start from there. So maybe that's not maybe they've already publicly stated that that's not the roadmap that they have, but I bet that's still internally the priority. From Epic Open World, have you ever played a game just because of the tech used in it? Epic Open World says they bought Metro Exodus for cheap on the Series X just to see all the enhancements 4A games have done to it. Specifically like things like ray tracing and global illumination. He's not even a fan of the series and not sure he will finish it, but damn, he says, I hope more games look like this. Yeah, I've definitely played stuff like that. I haven't like spent a lot of money going out just to see the tech, but there's definitely like games where I'm like maybe more willing to buy it because they look so pretty. How about you?
I don't know. Like the first thing that comes to mind is just downloading that Crisis demo, right? And that was kind of good enough for me for that kind of thing. If I talk to them where it's the tech itself I'm excited about. Like with Half-Life 2, I remember watching those tech demos where they're using the like gravity gun and like throwing mattresses in the pools. Like that was really exciting, but I was probably going to get Half-Life 2 anyways.
Yes, I'm the same way. I mean, I definitely like messing around with that stuff, but a lot of times I get codes now, so it's hard to answer this question. But I like booting these games up and checking out the tech. So
I think that's true for some people with the new Ratchet & Clank. I think the tech did bring a lot of people to that one.
From another one from Epic Open World, pitch to the audience an upcoming game you are excited about using. You're excited about using a insignificant detail most won't care about. Oh, okay. So pitch a game to the audience that you're excited about, but use an insignificant detail most won't care about. For example, in Lost Judgment, you have a dog you take on walks, pet attack, and it attacks enemies and helps you solve crimes.
All right, so Final Fantasy 14, you can be a bunny girl, but when Endwalker comes out, you can be a bunny boy as well.
Oh my God! I feel like you're wrong that most people won't care about that, Mike. That's big news.
That is big news. Get those bunny boys. Let's do it. Hoppity hippity.
I'm trying to think of a good example for me.
Those beef and cheddar bunny boys.
Yeah, let's see. You could Willem Dafoe is in 12 minutes. That doesn't feel like it's in the spirit here. Riders Republic is nope, nothing there. Yeah, I don't know if I have a good answer for this. I'll try to think of it and I'll come back to it.
Funny as I am.
No,
so,
definitely
yeah.
not. Well, I mean, I wish I had something as easy as Bunny Boys, Mike. Come on, that's cheating.
Well, if you like Final Fantasy 14, you would be there with me.
Yeah. From Nick Turbo, if you could have a Final Fantasy VII remake style reimagining of any game of your choice, what would it be?
Man, that's good. So, because like Final Fantasy VII is very specific in that it's like it's a hard remake with like top of the line tech, kind of like a different game, and there's like deviations to story that are intentional. Like it almost kind of feels like a sequel at times too. What else would even work with that? Maybe Metal Gear Solid 1. They're doing Metal Gear Solid 1, that kind of style.
That's a good answer.
Interesting now. I think that would make some sense. That would be kind of fun because like it's the same thing with Final Fantasy VII. Metal Gear Solid 1 is still very good. I could still just go and play that. And I think that's part of the problem with Twin Snakes, which is still pretty good, but it's just like an actual remake. And it's like, all right, yeah, this is good. It was good before. I don't even know if some of these changes make any sense. But like doing kind of like a big budget, weird remake of Metal Gear Solid 1 would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, right. I think that's probably like the definitive answer. I think like you'd say stuff like, oh, Chrono Trigger, but Chrono Trigger's kind of timeless already. I don't know if it really needs much of a remake. I guess Final Fantasy VI is another one people would ask for. But like for me, Metal Gear Solid makes the most sense because that is the one where I would want to see someone like do a little spin on it when they're bringing it back because it's Kojima. Makes some sense. All right, from Keywork. Due to the Activision Blizzard things going on at the moment, do you guys have any insight as to what's going on at Dreamhaven and its studio partners? I previously was excited for all things going on over there since it seems to be where old Blizzard has gone to create outside of Activision umbrella. But with all that has come to light, I am so jaded that I don't know if folks left for creative reasons or to continue to reign free as a sex pest. Same with Second Dinner and War Chief Gaming.
This is the second time this week you called it Second Diner at first glance.
Yes,
you did it on Grubb's next too.
Yeah, it's I definitely have had issue with that my entire life, absolutely. And I have to go, oh, it's two N's. That's dinner because, I don't know. I need to come up with a better system. I don't. Yeah, to me, this seems like people were leaving in part because of this stuff. At least in part.
In part. It can depend. So we've heard from a lot of people that the Hearthstone team was not a problem for the most part.
Right.
And I don't want to, speak out of turn. People did have issues there. I'm trying to negate those, but generally that's the impression I get. So Second Dinner is probably fine, but there's a lot of these studios that have been jumping up lately, these kind of quote unquote new Blizzards. And I think it's fine to be more skeptical about those. And I think they're going to have to sort of prove themselves that they are good places to work at and that they are healthy environments.
Right. We're going to want to stay on top of it, not just take their word on things and not just cover this stuff unskeptically. So we'll
Second
definitely
Dinner might get a little bit more of a pass, but the other ones I'm definitely going to raise an eyebrow at.
Keywork adds, on a lighter note, what is y'all's favorite Pokemon?
Vaporeon. Here, I'll get him.
What's the big one that sleeps?
Snorlax.
Snorlax. I like Snorlax.
Didn't someone ask you this question recently on Growth X and you literally said that the trash one and now you're changing? Yeah,
the trash one. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite Pokemon, Mike. I'm a 37-year-old man.
I am a 34-year-old man, and here's my crocheted Vaporeon, so fuck you.
I was like 18 when it came out, almost. Maybe not 18.
Perfect age. I was 12.
I guess I was 15.
Yeah, I was like 12. I was super ready for it. Yeah, Vaporeon's strong. Yeah, with Ice Beam, you give that Ice Beam TM, then he just destroys all those dragons in the Elite Four like it's nothing. Super easy. I should probably put this Vaporeon up here.
Yeah, give it a place of prominence.
We might have to start blocking this World of Warcraft thing I used to have on this.
Yeah, maybe. All right. The trash one. There we go. All right, Cold Nap. How sick are you of hearing a delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad?
I was getting sick of it before most people. I think I'm going to be a hipster about this one. I was when people would tweet that thing with the box quote with Shiggy's face. It was like, all right, like this isn't applicable to every situation. Like delayed games can also be bad.
Yeah, I mean,
And rush games can eventually get good now. Like,
Right, yeah,
you've seen it happen.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But yeah, I was at a certain point where I'm like, I'll never say this again because way too many people. It always comes up, and it's like, thank you for your insight. This was completely useless, and you wasted everybody's time. I hope you feel good about yourself. So yeah, I'm very sick of it. To answer your question. All right, we got 2 more, and they're both Benji Bop Bops. So here we go. Happy Friday, Jeff can actually juggle Grubb. Thank you. It's not the best at it, but I'm okay. And Mike literally peed with his mic on Minotti.
It's true.
Has technology advanced so far in video games that fruit ninjas and plant leaf connoisseurs are now coming out of the woodwork to blast every game for ruining their immersion and calling a game unplayable? Or are they just massive dorks who don't understand how video games are developed? Thanks as always. Have a great weekend.
That stuff is always in bad faith. Nobody actually cares about that when you're playing it. It's just like something Call of Warriors or weirdos can be like, wow, look at this. This is why Halo's not as good as Call of Duty. It's puddle news. It's absolutely puddle news.
It's something that no one will ever care about once the game is out. You'll never hear about this stuff again because it doesn't actually make a difference one way or the other. Right. It is just something to create anxiety or FUD before a game is out.
Mm-hmm. So yes, they are fucking nerds, to answer your question.
They're the fucking worst, yeah. And Benchy Bob says, did the Halo flight change your perception on Halo Infinite, or are there still too many questions to be answered? This will lead into what we've been playing.
I didn't play it because you didn't ask to get me a code, so I wasn't in. But you played it,
so this is what I played this week, and I will say in general that I was having more fun than I expected as someone who's never been a real Halo guy. Turns out Halo multiplayer very fun.
Yes.
I played it before. I've enjoyed it. I've had my time with Halo, but it was never like when I got into Call of Duty with Modern Warfare in 2007 or whatever. I got way into it. That was like my game, 1,000 hours on that, and then later I would go on to spend like 1,000 hours in Titanfall 1, and so it's like, I've had my shooters, and Halo was never one of those. But playing this, I'm like, I don't think I'll ever have another one of those again, at least not anytime soon, not with the young kids around. But playing Halo for a little bit, it's like, okay, I definitely could see myself just saying, hey, I'm going to get into a couple games tonight and play this, and that'll be what I play this weekend. It was very fun. I think that they've found a good speed in terms of the speed of play, where it still feels like it's a deliberate Halo pace, and yet you still have the sprint, and it's definitely not Call of Duty fast, but you could still run into combat really fast after you die. So I was appreciating it. I was really enjoying it, and so yeah, it did change my perception a little bit, but of like Halo multiplayer. As for like Halo Infinite itself, a lot of that is still going to depend on what that single player campaign is like, and is it something that I'm going to enjoy? Is it something that people are going to actually talk about, like going forward? Something people are going to come back to? I just have zero idea still about that.
I got a super chat I want to read to you right now.
Let's do it.
It's from Killer of Xbox. His profile picture is of Kratos, and he says, "How much Microsoft paying you to say that, you Xbot shill?" He paid us money to say this, so I want to make sure you hear this. So thank you. If you have any more insults, be sure to send more money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I will read them on air. That's great.
Yeah, it's they're paying me to say I never liked Halo. That's they're very good with their money over there at Microsoft.
You're very muted praise there.
Yeah, where it's like, yeah, I might play this occasionally. Yeah, they're paying me a lot of money.
He's the killer of Xbox. So you better just jump onto that PlayStation bandwagon.
Yeah, I don't want to get murdered. Mike, I'm scared.
Oh, you should be scared. Look how grumpy he looks. He's got a beard, and he's oh, that's just Kratos. That's not him. That's right. Okay.
At least it's not like a soccer avatar for once.
Soccer avatar?
Yeah, there's always people that get mad. It hasn't happened recently.
Are you saying that the Europeans are mad at you?
Yes, like there's always like a group that have like soccer avatars on Twitter that get mad at me about PlayStation stuff.
I mean, we know Europeans love PlayStation, so I guess that makes sense that a lot of them would happen to be there.
Yep, it's a whole thing. Okay, Mike, those are my Halo thoughts. I mean, not much else to say. I think, it was against bots most of the time. I did finally get to play against people at the end of the weekend, and I did a couple of matches while my kids were yelling at me to go to bed. So, it was good from what
Your
I played.
kids were yelling at you to go to bed?
Yeah, my one kid got out of bed, and I put her to bed, and then she came down in the basement, and it's like, no, you got to go to bed now. And I'm like, okay,
Wow.
I got to get you back in bed. So I had to deal with her. She was a mess that night. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting another chance to play this game. It's free to play. I'm definitely going to try it when it comes out, like 100%. But other than that, like that was true before this flight, so not much has changed. I guess I'm just happy that I liked what I played. But that's what I played. Do you want to do a few more super chats, and then do you have anything to talk about?
Well, maybe, but so we have some super chats here though. Uriel Delgado says, "Any news on the gunk? Is it getting delayed?"
It's a good question. I don't know. Was there a date on the gunk?
Jeff, I gotta be honest, I don't remember what the gunk is.
You're the worst. The gunk is from well, they were called Image and Form. Now they're called Thunderful, and they are the makers of Steam World Dig 2.
Oh, those guys! No wonder I don't care.
Oh my god, I hate you so much. September 2021, and I guess we haven't. Yeah, man, that's getting up close, right? That's next month. I bet it's getting delayed. If we haven't heard about anything recently, I bet it's getting delayed. But I don't know. I'll check in on it and see what they say.
Afro Ahmed asked, "Why hasn't Square ported Chrono Trigger to Switch?" I mean, Pixel remasters aren't coming to Switch because they don't know what they're doing. There is this, so they released Chrono Trigger on Steam, and it was at first a disaster, almost as bad as like what they did to Final Fantasies 5 and 6, where they just took a mobile version and put it on there. Now, at least that mobile version didn't redo the sprites, but it still had like the awful mobile interface and the bad font and the bad text. I think they fixed at least some of that on Steam, so that version's okay now. So I don't know if they could just put that on Switch and that would be fine, or I don't know if they feel like they need to do more work, or if they're just not sure, like, you know, what needs to happen to put Chrono Trigger on Switch. I don't know. I don't know why it should be that complicated. I don't know why they just don't release Chrono Trigger on Switch. Heck, put it there with Chrono Cross at this point. That should be easy. But not happening for whatever reason. Hargi Chani asks, with Sony saying that bringing MLB The Show to Xbox was a good thing for sales, do you think Sony might port some of their older titles to Xbox along with PC, maybe even in Game Pass, PC and or Xbox? No, they're ultimately not going to want to do that. And no reason why this happened with the show is because the MLB was involved. If it's their own decision, they're not going to. Now, they still want investors to know that that was fine and that they're happy with it and they made money, but they're not going to want to bring Uncharted or you know, Ghost of Tsushima or even like way older things to Xbox or PC. Yeah. Well, PC is happening, but not part of Game Pass anyways. Right.
Yeah, I think that's generally right. I just don't see any other opportunities for this to happen. It just seems very unlikely. I guess maybe if there is a giant multiplayer shooter that they want to have on everything eventually, maybe, but even that doesn't. I think they're just going to keep everything on PlayStation, except for these really weird outlier cases.
Ludi Lalalenda says, any details on Exile's new game?
God, I think I heard a little bit about it, but I can't remember the specific details, so I'm going to be careful. I think what I've heard is it's supposed to come out in 2023, or at least that's what they expect. I bet it gets delayed in 2024 pretty early on, but right now they're expecting it in 2023. I feel like some stuff even leaked about this recently, so I don't know. I'll add it to the list and see if I can find out more.
Harky Chani also asks, do you think Activision might offload or split from Blizzard? Probably not. There's a lot invested in there, especially with some major games coming out like Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. At least right now, World of Warcraft still like brings in money, so they're not going to just want to offload that. No, that's not going to happen.
No,
if anything, have to get dramatically worse somehow for that to happen, which is hard to imagine.
But it's like, if anything, they'll just continue diminishing the division between Blizzard and Activision, and Blizzard will just become another studio, which is clearly we're on the path to that. We're well on the path to that. So they'll just keep pushing Blizzard down and down the totem pole until it's not Activision Blizzard, it's Activision, and here is the Blizzard team at Activision, and that's kind of feels like what is happening right before our very eyes.
Blizzard's just another Treyarch or what have you. And then Jeremy G just says, have a good weekend. Thank you, Jeremy. I'm sorry that I temporarily banned you, but you deserved it. And that's it for the super chats.
All right, Mike, have you been playing anything?
It's Final Fantasy 14 every single day. Getting to the point where I'm like, maybe I'm playing too much Final Fantasy 14. I got into crafting, and that's like a whole separate game, and that's also very fun. And it's like,
Do you have
there's
like
so
your
many
own?
things.
Do you have your own like Final Fantasy Etsy store in there or something like that? Or
No,
what?
I'm more of a traveling artisan and Jeff.
Okay, all right. fair
Okay.
enough. Well,
Yeah, so I'm leveling it right now. So I'm like building things for other people and going through the quest. Like every class has its own like storyline. Even the crafters do. So like as a weaver, there's a weaver storyline that I'm playing through. So
What if you're a weeber?
we're probably about 14. We all are that. So
That's
just
the most
as an
powerful
umbrella.
class, right?
Yeah, we're all that.
Okay, when does Endwalker come out?
November.
Okay, all right. So like, you're just gonna play up to Endwalker? Are you like preparing
so.
for Endwalker?
I think no, there's nothing I need to really do to
Okay.
prepare for it. I am prepared.
You just enjoy a video game. All right, that's fine.
There's just so much that I want to do and can still do. I was unlocking old raids. There's still more. There's still more classes and jobs I want to level up. There's these things called deep dungeons that I haven't touched yet that are kind of like roguelike elements in the game. Haven't even gone into that. Other cosmetics. There's chocobo races I haven't touched yet. There's a zillion things still I got to get to. It's incredible how much content there is.
Well, I'm happy for you, Mike. I'm happy you found your game and that you could keep playing it and it doesn't lose its luster. And there hasn't been any awful stories about the developer quite recently.
Yes, not yet. So feeling pretty good over Final Fantasy 14 land right now. Knock on wood.
All right, everybody, we're gonna start wrapping this up. Any other thoughts, Mike, or should I just do the outro music?
No, I think that's about it. I thought that was an interesting question you got yesterday on Grubb's Next about Microsoft spinning like starting up a Fallout studio, because it's hard to imagine them just being like, yeah, we're okay waiting 10 years for a Fallout game.
Which seems like they would have to do if they don't like put a new studio on it, right? Like,
and we used to say, oh, get Obsidian to do it, but they're busy too. So I don't know.
That's the thing. Everybody's busy. Every studio's gotten stuff like it's working on stuff like that.
Right.
Killer Instinct, like you say, oh, they want to do more Killer Instinct, but like Iron Galaxy, they're busy. Are they going to do it? No way, they're busy. So it's just everyone wants game content right now, and so if you are in that position, like there's, bids are high. You can make a lot of money right now, or you're going to get acquired for a lot of money, but. It just means like something like Fallout might be in a weird situation where they might have to start up a whole new team just to work on that specifically, and then where to get the talent.
Will move some people from Bethesda.
Yeah,
to,
of course. Yeah.
I think they have to. There's no way. It's just like you could start working on that after Elder Scrolls 6 is done in 7 years. Like right. Come on.
Weird.
No way.
Where can people find you on the internet, Mike?
I'm on Twitter at Tokoto, TOLKOTO. Check out 90s Disney, my 90s Disney podcast at 90sdisney.com. Last of the Nintendogs is broadcasting on Tuesdays on this same channel and on the podcast version on all your usual podcasting places.
I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter. Check out my show Grubb Snacks on GiantBomb.com. If you want to watch it live and interact with me, you could do that by going to GiantBomb.com/premium. You can upgrade there and come hang out with ask questions there. It's a good show. How Games Make Money. Hopefully I'm going to put another episode up probably this weekend because I need to edit it before I go on this trip. But yeah, while I will be like on vacation next week, we're still going to be doing the podcasts as normal, because otherwise, like Mike said, he doesn't know what he's doing. Look at him. He's a big oaf. He doesn't know.
I don't know what happened, and I do things Jeff tells me to do.
Yep. So yeah, we'll be back next week with another new episode, and yeah, definitely check out Nintendogs. That show's been a lot of fun to do, and yeah, I'm trying to think anything else to talk about. I'm not sure. Mike, what are you gonna play this weekend other than Final Fantasy? Anything else? Okay, cool. Cool. Wow, man, there it is. It's just I'm gonna play more. I'm gonna play more of the Ascent. I am gonna do that for sure.
You do that.
You know, that Dodgeball Academia game seems pretty good too. All right, everybody, take it easy.
Bye.